Yo, welcome to the stream. In today's stream, we're going to be talking about the overall macro and crypto right now. So really, we're in a pivotal time at this time. Obviously, the Fed rate cut just right around the corner here. I think we're coming up just on the next day or so. But I wanted to get to you guys this message really quickly, this stream, although not financial advice. Obviously, this is just informational purposes only. But we're going to dive into a couple of key levels, key charts on Bitcoin specifically, which obviously Bitcoin holds a lot of weight in crypto in terms of the overall health of it. And we're also going to be talking about a little bit about Ethereum and the wider altcoin market. So with that said, let's go ahead and just pop open a few posts here I found pretty interesting on social media. So let me go ahead and pop on over to that. At least if my camera is not still frozen. Okay, there we go. So yeah, let's go ahead and pop on over to that. First up here, Fed is planning the biggest manipulation ever. I don't think it's manipulation. This was a little bit of a clickbait to get people to read. But yeah, it all starts September 17th after the U.S. rate cut. And they're already speculating that the rate cut, I think right now, Polymarket's showing around 90% or so. But yeah, like the rate cut, that's obviously tomorrow after studying secret files. There's no secret files, by the way. It's just charts, right? So basically, we're going to dive into this post. So we'll go ahead and just kind of highlight a little bit of what this writer was kind of talking about. The market is frozen in anticipation of the most important event in crypto. On September 17th, Fed Chair Jerome Powell will announce changes to U.S. rate. 99% are sure a rate cut is instant cosmic growth for BTC, but that's not true. Now, he doesn't know that, but I mean, he's the speculative part. Is the market is overheated, or actually I missed a post here, so let's go back to 3 here. Short-term, a rate cut is negative for markets and drags BTC down. Why so? Let's break it down. A rate cut signals economic problems and triggers capital outflow. Traders take profits and adding pressure and provoking a dump. A rate cut can temporarily strengthen the dollar, putting pressure on BTC. So this is all like short-term stuff, very short-term. Number 4, the market is overheated. A drop during a cut is a near reality. I see 2 scenarios for his self or their self or whoever self that is. BTC drops to 104K before reversal. Or number 2, Bitcoin drops to 92K, then reverses and sets a new all-time high. Either way, it looks like both scenarios are all-time highs. But you know, short term, a huge dump. Why this matters is because you want to maximize your entries and maximize your gains and keep your losses to a minimal. Number 5, the market reacted to 2020 rate cut. In March 2020, the Fed cut rates to nearly 0% and launched QE. Now, these were drastic measures, I will say, back in 2020. This was around, you know, when the that virus was going around. We'll just keep it at that. And the economy was pretty much in hardcore turmoil. I think this time around, we're seeing something different. We're seeing, obviously, the tariffs come into play, but tariffs are also bringing in a lot of revenue, and it's a lot more than what people had originally forecasted. So I do think that's going to be a little bit balanced by that. So I don't think this is going to be nearly as big of a, if there is a dump, going to be a big one. I think that yeah, just with that said, not only that, we know that Wall Street is planning on to underpin the entire financial system with blockchain. So I think those are 2 things that are outliers that a lot of people like to ignore. But we do have traders short term that trade off of emotion, right? The trend is your friend, and traders will just go with the trend. They're not going to care too much about, you know, the utility that's going to go, you know, take place. So with that said, despite this, markets are including crypto crash due to COVID. Well, oops, I didn't mean to say that, but I just did. Panic. BTC then collapsed nearly 50% in a day, sparking panic. Then came the strong. Oop, let me go ahead and reverse. Then came the strongest bull run after the initial sell-off. I hate how this tries to redo this. Let me try to. Yeah, there we go. He provides a chart, and it is historical, but I think this market is a little bit more dynamic. And so, yeah, with that said, then came the start of the strongest bull run after the initial sell-off. Liquidity injected by the Fed and other central banks flowed into risk assets. By the end of 2020, BTC broke its previous all-time high at 20K. In 2021, growth continued. Price hit 64K, while alts showed massive X's. So he says in near short term or near term, markets may test deep support zones. Ultimately, market awaits a breakout that will flip everything. Historically, BTC in Q4 has always shown strong growth. This year is no exception. So yeah, they kind of go on to say that previous these rate cuts may signal a quick pullback. Ted Pellos, another scenario. I actually think he got this chart maybe from Ted Pellos, but Ted Pellos also thinks that and he's saying JP Morgan and other big analysts are expecting a market dump before reversal. Scenario BTC will dump towards 104 in scenario 2. So he kind of stole a little bit this from Ted Pellos. Perhaps this has been recirculated or he cut that Ted Pellos off. So that's where it originally came from. You can see BTC already kind of moving backwards here and market kind of slumping a little bit. So but on the back heels of that, Tom Lee predicting a massive pump for Bitcoin and Ethereum after FOMC. Now, what Tim Warren doesn't necessarily say here is that this could be in Q4, right? The later end of Q4. So I think we need to kind of put that in perspective there. While I do think we'll be finishing the year strongly, it's going to be coming down to those key levels. And here's a chart I posted in the school community. If you're not in our D's and Dad's school community, you want to pop it in there. You can just search it on school over there for D's and Dad's and join the membership for free currently. And we will close and cap that at a certain level where it's no longer free. So you do have access to this free, community currently. As it's obviously currently free, I just said. But with that said, you can see same thing here. This chart is supporting, kind of some of these key levels around that 113, 112K area of support. But if it breaks down below that, then yeah, that's when you could possibly see like that lower 103. And then really below that, you could see there's a lot of trading volume around 96, 97K, where some people are thinking it could go. So here's kind of the lay of the land here in terms of an easy way to look at it is Bitcoin kind of bouncing in this price channel right here, this downward kind of bull flag, if you will. But yeah, it's still technically all a bullish formation. It's just going to be whether it can break through these levels and go to those kind of all-time highs, or at least get to back to the all-time high level. So that's kind of it when it goes to that. And then this is another historical chart, all the way back from 2018, all the different bull cycles. As you can see, I think this may be like a 1 month time frame or something like that. But you can see here, this trend line connecting December 2017 and November 2021 bull market peaks. And this is when it peaked, corrected all the way down. And then now it took, several years to get back to where it previously was, and then it went through that all-time high. So a lot of people are kind of concerned here about this price level area. It did break through, but was able not to sustain that and dropped below, and it's hitting off of that key level again. However, the more times it breaks through this trend line, the more likely it is to break through the top of it. And as you can see here, it's really wanting to break through. It hit it 1, 2, 3. It went through it 4, 5, 6, and now it's continuing to hit those trend lines. And the overall global money supply, global M2, is continuously going up as well. And we saw gold pump as well. But a lot of people are considering taking profits and putting their money maybe into silver or Ethereum, both the silvers of the world, right? So Ethereum considered the silver of crypto, as the potential to have more X's and more multiples in terms of Bitcoin. But even Ethereum kind of a little bit of a bearish move here the past few days as we come into the FOMC. So I think traders taking profits and trying to get a lower entry here and a better entry. So we could be seeing that again, traders doing what they do best, and that is just taking profits and causing the market to dump. But yeah, like you can consider traders that just swing these levels. They're definitely just trading off the news here and what could be, and looking at past historical cycles, as well as comparing charts like this one here. So With that said, I think there is a good possibility that there could be a good pullback, and the reason why I think that could be the case is because not only just traders, but also just um, I just think that a rate cut does kind of signal a weaker overall economy, which obviously is kind of like short term bearish. But the money injection will come thereafter, so we could see definitely a pullback here. This is something I might consider closing some of my trades as I kind of see this market continuing to dump off here, and we could see a deeper correction. So this doesn't look too bullish on the charts. There are other tokens out there that have been performing quite well over the past few days. Avalanche has been doing really well the past few days. It definitely has been having a lot of news. ETFs. There's been a lot of excitement in the Avalanche community. And also, we haven't really gotten to the Clarity Act. So the crypto market structure legislation this legislation, sorry, not the Clarity one, but this one will help solidify crypto in terms of just more clarity in general, right? So it says here, massive industry validation playbook have passed. These laws offer templates for token issuers, developers, exchanges, investment firms, and protocols, and crowdsourcing content on what to do next becomes incredibly valuable. Not sure what that last sentence means, but regardless, this will provide a lot more clarity, right, in the path forward for a lot of financial institutions. Now, however, there is banks that are pushing back on this currently right now, saying that if stable coins, you're able to earn yield on them, then we could see a massive exodus of banks, and that could cause a lot of bank runs. So a lot of banks are actually concerned here, but instead of just adding financial products and stablecoin products to their banking system or their line of products, they're not just going to do that, right? So there's some concern there of like a balancing act of pleasing banks, but also this is going to move forward. Like stable coins are going to be a thing. Platforms already like Coinbase, Robinhood, that are major, kind of financial apps already offer these types of services. And I think those will be major beneficiaries as we move forward. But however, banks are going to be pushing back here as the main proponents of, how this bill could be structured, or even the stablecoin bill already passed, and how they can kind of maybe walk back some of the legislation that was included in it. It's a couple of key things that they might want to roll back. But I think there's going to be a lot here. It's going to be heating up in Q4, not only in terms of the crypto market, but also this legislation right here and what we'll see in Congress. So yeah, there's a lot of things to be paying attention to in terms of the wider market. So I wanted to do this stream here. What virus was called? Banned. Yeah, instantly banned earlier. Yeah. I think I might have been demonetized and taken out of the algorithm. I don't know. Hopefully not. But with that said, I just wanted to start doing more lives here. I used to do like daily lives here on the channel, and we kind of stopped doing that for quite some time. Just for me, it was a time to take more time and spend with family and prioritize a lot of other things. But yeah, there's just a lot out there. I think Solana is going to continue to do well. I think the altcoin market, we're still going to see an altcoin season. Matter of fact, we can hop on over here to coin market cap, fear and greed. We're at 50%. So it's really a neutral market. But usually when you have a neutral market, it's either sideways or trending a little bit downwards before you see an upward trend again. So fear and greed, 50% neutral market. However, altcoin season, 72%. People feeling it in their bones here. And some of the outlying coins have been doing really well, like Pingu. Looks like maybe MNT. I think that's Mantle, Crow. So a lot of these like alpha plays, I think I've been doing really well. Obviously, Pingu, I think, was a huge one in terms of meme coins that have been performant. But in the wider, like more, I guess, utility-based ones, Crow, I think, was one of the ones that WLFI, or I think Trump had announced in his like paper that they're going to be doing something with. I already forgot because crypto moves so fast. Link is another one that's been performing well over the last 90 days because that one was also mentioned as one of those tokens. I think the WLFI, I think they're purchasing or something like that. I can't remember exactly. Again, there's just a lot of information flying around crypto all the time. They mentioned quite a few other tokens. Link's been mentioned time and time again, and I think like maybe even the White House paper, I think it was. But yeah, my memory is kind of like a little bit clouded today, this morning. Just every, I don't know. I haven't woken up yet, to be honest, and I need a couple more cups of coffee. But just bear with me this today in the stream. With that said, yeah, Arbitrum's been doing really well. I was able to trade that at Avalanche on the heels of Arbitrum as well. They've been having a lot of news. They were able to get back to the top 15 and top, I think, 14 yesterday in terms of total market cap, as you can see here. They did flip SWE for a little bit, but it's kind of been down 2%. So it's going to be a back and forth between those two blockchains. And yeah, I think AVAX will continue to do well. Can't really talk about too much price there because I am technically a partner of Avalanche, and something that I made a conscious decision because that is, I think, one of the best blockchains in the entire space. Not only because I'm a partner, it's just because the reason why I was a partner and the reason why I said yes to them is because they just have a lot better tech than most blockchains, and people are sacrificing speed for security in some cases, or sacrificing, even though there's other blockchains that are quote unquote faster, it's actually not that hard to make a blockchain fast. You just have bigger blocks. There's a lot of things you can do. And there's a lot of blockchains that are going to be fast, but it's going to be the ones that have the best infrastructure behind the scenes that are going to allow businesses to want to launch their own layer ones, like on Avalanche, instead of just a layer two. And it's still like layer twos are still going to technically at scale, like with Ethereum, like they're going to have a little bit of weight on the Ethereum blockchain. And while some of them, I think L2s are, some of them are really great. Like one of my favorites that is very similar to Avalanche is actually Arbitrum. And I think that's one of the best L2s, in my opinion, in the entire space. There's other L2s out there. They'll always continue to upgrade their L2s and try to make them faster. But an L2 is still an L2 at the end of the day. And with the way that Avalanche has structured it, L1s, I think, are just a no-brainer for business. You can customize gas. You can have your own native gas token. There's just a lot of other benefits you can't get on any other L2 or any type of other system like that. So with that said, that's why I like it. I know a slight little shill there, but at the end of the day, that's why it's been performing really well. In my opinion, will continue to do well. I think, but that's just my opinion. With that said, that's all we really got for today's stream. I know it was a quick one, but again, just wanted to do a quick little stream here, just because the market is like in flux right now. There is super key levels, like right now. This is very important levels, and why I decided to do a stream today about it. Because yes, we could have a correction. That is a very high probability. It's like if we're like 50% correction, 50% just we continue the bullish trend. I know that's like, of course, Kyle, like it could go up or down, no kidding. But usually you don't have like those significant odds, like one way or the other. But usually it's like, okay, you have a pretty good chance of it correcting here. Like it's like 80%. You don't really want to do a stream for like an 80%, like, like everybody knows it's going to be like a downward trend for a while. But this one is a little bit different, right? Because you are hitting these key levels. So it is going to be important to watch, because the Fed rate cut is such like big news that everybody in the entire world is going to be watching these Fed rate cuts. Not only just crypto, I know we're in that crypto bubble, but really the wider, stock market, right? The wider financial system, that everybody's going to be watching this because it has so much impact on the entire macroeconomics of the world, right? So that's why I think this one is a super important stream to watch. And perhaps maybe we'll do a stream tomorrow during the Fed rate cut. I'm not sure if I'll actually put on the stream. Check Discord, says Chris Coffee. I will. Shout out to Chris Coffee, one of the other Degen dads. Again, we have a school community We're still setting it up. It's beginning stages. All you have to do is search for Degen Dads on school. And we're actually ranking we're on like the first page of if you just type in dads even on school. But yeah, this is kind of what the inside of the group looks like, 29 members. And we're going to try to provide a lot of value for our members, currently free. Currently, it's not going to be that way forever. So if you're watching and you want to get cool charts like this, cool little updates, and really it's a place for not only just dads, anybody's really invited to come into the community. But the reason why we branded Degen Dads is because me and Chris and Crypto Crier, another dad in there, we're all dads. Like, it's just relatable, right? So it's something that we as guys, we can relate with each other in terms of being dads. But we did put moms, anybody is actually invited. So yeah, it's just really a family friendly type of environment at the end of the day. That's what we were trying to get at, because the wider crypto space is just filled with a lot of single people out there that it's hard to relate with them sometimes, just like from a one-to-one basis. And you're trying to just shoot it with the people that it's just like why you would join a club, or why you would join a golf club because everybody's playing golf. Or like you start playing adult softball because you just want to hang with some people, right? You just want to be social. And so this is what we wanted to do. And kind of the vision behind Degen Dads is a family-friendly community where you don't have to worry about people just getting wild like a bunch of teenagers. And I don't know, you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to get at? But yeah, that's kind of the kind of vision and direction we wanted to go with. And yeah, you guys are welcome to join there. Doesn't matter if you're dad or not, everybody's welcome, but we are trying to create that kind of family friendly atmosphere. We hope that we can provide for you guys out there. So with that said, again, that's all I really got for this podcast. I don't know what we're coming up on in terms of minutes. I don't know if we were able to break that 30-minute mark. Maybe I should have had quite a few more material. There's a lot of alpha out there in the space currently in crypto to cover. I'm keeping an eye on it. One of the ones I think that was pretty interesting, excuse me, was the inside the group, somebody posted, quote unquote safe altcoin bets. Now, this is their opinion, of course, but the Fed has made a list of ISO 20,022 compliant. We'll just say that ISO 20022 compliant. Some of those include XRP, ADA, Quant, IOTA, XLM. Out of all those, I'm liking XLM. I do think XRP has had its play, has had its bull run. Maybe it will continue to do well, but I think ADA probably will do well. And that's one used to be my favorite coin long back then. I do have favorites, and I do have ones that I won't trade just because I feel that it doesn't really align sometimes with me personally. But XLM, I think, is a good one. I used to like IOTA, actually. I was actually one of the first crypto streamers to do videos on like ADA, IOTA, and XLM way back in the day in 2017. But yeah, XLM has kind of been one of my long favorites. It's just a high performant type of blockchain that was the OGs of like speed, scalability, planet scale for the financial system. Long before there's Solana even existed and even, was an idea probably. But with that said, XLM, I think it's a good one. The chart's looking pretty good in my opinion, or at least setting up for a really good chart. We'll actually check that out here. You can see it's also setting up a pretty nice little bull flag here. So, but yeah, it possibly could have a little correction here. But if it does, this might be a good one to pick on the dip if XLM gets more adoption. So keyword, the fundamentals are going to be important moving forward, especially in Q4 with the legislation. And how these banks are going to start using this technology and moving from pilot to actually having active, blockchains managing some of some of the financial systems that underpin transactions and all that. So, yeah, that's all I got, and much appreciated. I will see you guys in the next stream. Fingers crossed that all is good in the crypto market, and we don't just go full bear. And we don't just go full like 92K Bitcoin, because I think that would just kind of suck for the market if I'm being like like honest there, I think that would be like no bueno. Like I think that altcoins have already suffered a lot, and I think that would be no bueno. But I could see a 104, 103 type of Bitcoin on those charts. If we pull it back, let me see if I can. Oh, that's Bitcoin dominance. Look at that. Oh my gosh, man. Bitcoin dominance has been falling quite significantly, mainly to Ethereum, I would say, in like bigger majors. But yeah, this could have a bounce here short term. But anyways, going back to Bitcoin. Um, yeah, like down here, you can see like this is kind of some of that level, like 102, 103 off this bottom, like kind of resistant of this flag. So and you see a lot of activity around 104. So that's why I think a lot of people get this 104 right here. As you can see, there's a lot of like buy, sell volume type of stuff going on. It did peak out right here. It's been performing since August 30th till now. So for 15 days, it's kind of gone up. So maybe it's a little overheated on that 7-day RSI. But yeah, that's all I got. It's going to be very important watching these markets very closely. And it's time to lock in. All right. This is the time that we've all been waiting for. FOMC decision, rate cut, 25 basis points or 50 basis points. And will we get the, several cuts month over month for the next like 2-3 months? That could be a possibility as well. But yeah, short term, we could see a dip before we, people start, the narrative shifts, right? People are like, oh, it's signaling a, underlying bad economy. And then like in 3 months, people are like, oh, there's a lot of money now in the system. It's time to risk on. So it's just funny how that works. But the trend is your friend in these markets. And those are going to be the key things we're going to be paying attention to on the channel. Yo, what's up, fun under the sun? Hope you are doing well. Long time no chat. Love to see you in chat, and hope you and your family are doing so well during these times. And yeah, excited to cover a little bit more, do a little bit more streams, and engage with a lot of you OGs out there in chat. It's been a long time there. And again, feel free to join the DJ Dads community while it's free. So, because it's not always going to be free. Well, I say that we could have a free area of DJ Dads in the future in the school community, but there will be cool inside calls that we'll do, because that's like one of the features of school, is doing calls, live streams actually inside of school. So I think I plan to do some of those on the inside, and we'll see you over there as well. But with that said, be like an NFT, be authentic. We'll never get rid of that saying, because I think it's just a cool saying ever. I know I'm biased because I like kind of coined it a little bit, but anyways, with that said, peace and love, and I'll see you guys in the next one.